Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Arizona.
It's Interleague Baseball this week. We're home at Chase Field to begin a 4-game home-and-home series with the best team in the American League. The Houston Astros are in here. We'll play 2 games here tonight and tomorrow, then 2 in Houston Wednesday and Thursday. So join us for D-backs Baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume and Bob Brenly along the way. It's the first of 4 against the Houston Astros. And a busy day today for David Peralta. It's David's birthday today. He's 30 years old. He's also a new dad. He and wife Jordan welcomed baby girl Sophia into the world. So Bob, our left fielder and leadoff man, is on paternity leave.
Yeah, great news for the Peralta family. Not so hot for the D-backs offense. David Peralta in his last 10 games in that leadoff spot has been a .324 hitter. He scored 8 runs, driven in 7, but all for the right reasons that he'll be away from the ball club tonight.
That's right. Congratulations to David and Jordan, and welcome baby Sophia, the newest Diamondback fan. Now we got to deal with this guy, Jose Altuve, who is leading baseball in batting average and base hits.
And just about everything else you can possibly imagine. This guy is a legitimate American League MVP candidate. Not only the hits and the batting average of .362, he's got 18 homers. He's driven in 65 runs, scored 80, and stolen 26 bases. He's doing it all for the Astros.
It's the first of 4, the Diamondbacks and the Astros. Zach Greinke gets the baseball tonight. He's up against right-hander Colin McHugh. First pitch is coming up shortly on Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Gila River Casinos. Earn rewards 10 times faster than ever before with the card by Gila River Casinos. Sign up for the card today. By Chaz Roberts, air conditioning and plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By the Donor Network of Arizona. Sign up, save lives. Visit donornetworkaz.org. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. By Gigablast, internet from Cox. Get ready for the gig life. By Oregano's, step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run. At Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint, location statewide. By Phoenix Raceway, see Dale Jr.'s final West Coast race during the Can-Am 500 NASCAR semifinal at Phoenix Raceway November 10th through the 12th. Tickets at phoenixraceway.com. And by State Farm, here to make life go right. Talk to an agent today or call 1-800-STATE-FARM. We are set for 4 days of interleague baseball. Diamondbacks and Astros both 9-1 in interleague play this year, tied for the best record in the major leagues. And Zach Greinke gets the baseball to start it off tonight. It's the D-backs and the Astros on Fox Sports Arizona. Cool and comfortable inside Chase Field. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly, and Pat Paris with you. The roof is closed. The first of four, the Diamondbacks and the Houston Astros, who come in leading the majors in just about every offensive category. But Bob, these guys are sputtering. They've lost 9 of 12 and 11 of their last 15. Here's your Astros lineup, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Very similar feel about the Astros offense that we have about the D-backs offense, just about due to bust loose. George Springer will lead it off in center field. Jose Altuve at second base. Josh Reddick out in right field. Yuli Gurriel at first base. Alex Bregman at third base. Marwin Gonzalez will play shortstop with Derek Fisher in left. Juan Centeno behind the plate, and Colin McHugh on the mound.
Your Ram truck starter for the Diamondbacks is Zach Greinke, 13-5, coming off a loss to the Dodgers in his previous start last Wednesday. It was Zach's first loss here at Chase Field all season.
Yeah, 10-1 with a .252 here at Chase after that loss to the Dodgers last time out. Opponents hitting only .190 against Zach here at Chase Field this year.
Well, Houston just snapped a 5-game losing streak yesterday with a win over the Texas Rangers. But they are 39-20 this year on the road. That's the best road record in baseball. And George Springer, who played his college ball at UConn along with Nick Ahmed, will lead it off for the Astros. And we're underway here on a Monday night in downtown Phoenix with ball one. Springer just off the DL. He missed 13 games with a right quadricep problem. But having a very good year, 305 and 28 home runs. Breaking balls in for a strike, and it's 1-1. George Springer could be a tough matchup for Zach Greinke tonight. He does not usually chase pitches when he's ahead in the count. That's something that Greinke excels at. Pretty selective hitter, but he takes a big cut at a fastball there, and it's 1-2. Diamondbacks trying to reverse their fortunes. They've lost 6 of their last 8 games. They've lost 3 straight series now against San Francisco, LA, and the Cubs. And Springer strikes out. Good start for Zach Greinke. Time now, BB, for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Do not, I repeat, do not overlook the little guy. Jose Altuve may be small of stature, but this guy swings as hot a bat as anybody in the game right now. He's got pop. He drives the ball from foul line to foul line. He is a pesky hitter. Everything you love in a ball player, Jose Altuve is.
He is the major league's leading hitter, a guy who loves to jump on the first pitch of his at-bats. He's hitting .362 with 18 home runs. Just like that, big swing and a miss. Altuve leading all of baseball in hits. He homered yesterday. The Astros win at Texas. His 18th of the year. 5'6", 165 pounds. Fastball down and away, missed. It's a ball and a strike. Nothing this guy doesn't do well.
He's not a great rebounder, but other than that.
Oh, that's a fair point. You won that one. He was an all-star this year for the 5th time in his career. He's already won a Gold Glove. He's got a pair of batting titles, and he's working on a 3rd.
And the thing about Altuve, his numbers pretty much across the board have gone up every year. He scores a few more runs, drives in a few more runs, hits a few more homers.
His bat is taller than he is, though. Chases that one out of the zone. The Greinke slider is strike 2. Here's a look at the Diamondbacks defensively, and that's brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
A.J. Pollock back out in center field with Gregor Blanco in left, J.D. Martinez in right. The left side of the infield will be Jake Lamb and Ketel Marte. The right side, Daniel Descalso and Paul Goldschmidt. Jeff Mathis, as usual, behind the plate for right-hander Zach Greinke.
Josh Reddick, like Zach Greinke, a former Dodger. First pitch fastball to Reddick is strike 1. He's batting .294 with 11 home runs. He has gone without a hit in his last 19 at bats against right-hand pitchers, which is a little odd for an all-star caliber left-hand batter. But it's been that kind of a season for Reddick. Very quiet since the All-Star break. Just not driving the ball the way he did the first half of the year. Send that one out to Blanco and left. A 2-out single for Josh Reddick. And there's his first base hit against a right-hander at 19 at bats. That'll bring up Yuli Gurriel.
Looked out over the plate, got a pitch out over the plate, stayed right on it. Good opposite field approach that time by Josh Reddick with 2 outs in the inning.
Here's the Cuban import. Yuli Gurriel, 293, 15 home runs. He qualifies as a 33-year-old rookie, having come over from Cuba. First pitch is fouled off behind the Houston dugout, and it's 0-1. Yuli Gurriel, the older of 2 brothers, both very popular baseball stars in Cuba. Gurriel signed with the Astros last summer. His younger brother Lourdes signed with the Toronto Blue Jays. The little tapper back to the mound. Greinke's got it. Danny Strand, the 2-out single. Diamondbacks coming up. Against your Ram truck starter for the Astros, it's Colin McHugh, the 30-year-old right-hander who is making only his 5th start this year. He missed the first 4 months of the season with a right elbow problem.
Throwing a lot more sliders lately, something we're going to keep an eye on here tonight in McHugh's start. He'll throw a 4-seam fastball, a 2-seam sinker. He also has a curveball, but we're told he's using the slider a lot more, and it's been a very effective pitch for him.
Well, we mentioned David Peralta now on paternity leave. David and his wife Jordan welcome baby girl Sophia into the world. So we have a little freight train now.
A little caboose.
So congratulations to the Peralta family. So David is not here tonight. Gregor Blanco batting leadoff and playing left field. Struck out twice and walked in his start in center field yesterday against the Cubs, hitting .247 with 3 homers. And McHugh gets him to pop this one up behind second. Marwin Gonzalez, the shortstop, is there. Here's the D-backs lineup. It's presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Seen Blanco pop out to start the ball game. He's out in left field. A.J. Pollock once again out in center. Jake Lamb at third base. Paul Goldschmidt at first. J.D. Martinez will be out in right field with Daniel Descalso at second. A bottom third of Ketel Marte at short. Jeff Mathis catching, and Zach Greinke, the right-hander, on the mound.
Here's A.J. Checked into the ball game yesterday against the Cubs late in the game. He takes ball 1, 277 and 5 homers for Pollock. AJ has been slumping. It's extended a little longer than I'm sure he would have liked, and longer than anyone expected. He's hitting .177 in his last 17 games. Fastball fouled straight back, and it's 2-1.
Well, and if indeed Colin McHugh's throwing more sliders recently, you would expect to see some against A.J. Pollock right now. Lately, he's had some trouble with right-handed breaking balls moving down low and away from him.
McHugh, with that brand new slider, which he started throwing just this year, is getting more swings and misses with that pitch than almost any pitcher in the game. That was it right there. AJ lays off. It's 3-1. That has quickly become Colin McHugh's favorite pitch after his fastball. He used to throw a whole lot of cutters, and now that's pretty much been replaced by his slider. Fastball ends a strike, and it's 3-2. Ramon De Jesus, our plate umpire tonight. There's the cutter that Colin McHugh used to throw all the time. He was a 19-game winner with Houston 2 seasons ago. Last year he won 13 games. He had to be shut down this spring with a right elbow impingement and wound up missing 4 months. Didn't make his first start for the Astros this year until July 22nd. AJ gets hit with a fastball. He seems to be okay. We'll take a look at the Astros defense in the meantime. Nationwide Vision Centers has that.
Left to right across the outfield, it would be Derek Fisher, George Springer, and Josh Reddick. Third to first across the infield, Alex Bregman, Marwin Gonzalez, Jose Altuve, and Yuli Gurriel. Juan Centeno doing the catching for right-hander Colin McHugh.
Looks like that got AJ on the forearm. No big deal. So a 1-out base runner for Jake Lamb. Astros will put the shift on. Gonzalez, the shortstop, on the first base side of second, along with Altuve. Boy, the left-hand side of the field is wide open for Lamb.
He shows bunt there. Here's the hit by pitch of A.J. Pollock, a tailing fastball that started inside and just kept moving farther inside. Catches him on that right forearm, just below the elbow.
The infield for the Astros against Lamb is shifted over to the right-hand side. The outfield kind of shades over toward the left. Got Fisher near the line in left, and Springer a couple of steps over toward left center field.
If you think about some of Jake's biggest hits lately, had to double to the gap in the ball game yesterday on that last road trip. A lot of opposite field base hits, so the outfield shades him the other way.
AJ 15 stolen bases. He's been caught 4 times. Dave McKay coaching down there at first. 1-0 on Jake Lamb. Jake coming off a 3-hit day yesterday against the Cubs. That's a fastball for a strike, and it's 1-1. .264 and 25 homers for Lamb. There's the curveball from Colin McHugh. He can really spin that thing. That's what the Astros first really liked about him. Look at that thing spinning, all those seams. Gurriel at first. Bregman, the third baseman, over there. And they're able to turn the double play with the shift on. Yuli Gurriel gets it started. Bregman, the third baseman, over there with the shift on. And then McHugh covers. That's a 3-5-1 double play. Torey Lovullo wants to make sure. We play on. So the Astros turn to no score here at Chase Field.
I think we're just kind of wandering and drifting through certain segments of the game that have cost us. There are games where we're sharp and on point, and we end up winning those games. And that's how this game gets at this time of the year.
That was Torey Lovullo after last night's loss, and he was talking about his team wandering and drifting. Just a foul ball there. He's just not really talking about physically that this team is kind of in the dog days of summer, more mentally that at times he sees his team over the last week or 10 days kind of mentally wandering and drifting, not the entire game, but just key moments, and it's turned out to cost them during this month of August where they're 5-7. And he talked about making sure he communicated that, Steve and Bob, with his team to make sure they don't continue to wander and drift.
Yeah, you're right, Pat. It's been a tough sledding here. They've lost 6 of their last 8. They've lost 3 consecutive series now, and they're up against the best team in the American League here, Bob. 4 games versus the Houston Astros.
Yeah, this is not a stretch of the schedule where you need to be less than 100% mentally out there playing against the Dodgers, the Cubs, and now the Astros, 3 of the best teams in all of baseball. You had to be at the top of your game to beat those guys, and unfortunately the D-backs were not.
Well, Alex Bregman leads off the Houston second against Zach Greinke. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Bregman, the third baseman. Bregman 273 and 13 homers. He was the 2nd overall pick in the draft just 2 years ago out of LSU, the player taken by the Astros. 1 pick after the Diamondbacks selected Dansby Swanson. So he's a very highly regarded player coming out of that program at LSU. And he's been among baseball's hottest hitters as of late. He was 0 for 4 in their win at Texas yesterday, but that snapped a career high 14-game hitting streak. Here's A.J. Hinch, former Diamondback skipper. Greinke missed in with a fastball, and Bregman's worked it full 3-2. Laid off the Greinke slider. First base on balls. A leadoff walk for Bregman starts the second.
Hey fans, we invite you to participate in Gila River game nights by signing up at one of the interactive kiosks located here at Chase Field during any D-backs home games.
That's a good example of what the Astros like to do. Patient at bats. They're an on-base percentage centric team. Marwin Gonzalez, the switch hitting shortstop. Astros are without their sensational shortstop Carlos Correa, who's on the disabled list right now. Got a bad thumb injury. So Gonzalez has been playing a lot of shortstop over the last month or so. And he's having a very good year, 314 and 20 home runs. Correa suffered a torn ligament in his left thumb last month and wound up needing surgery. Bregman will run. He's got 12 stolen bases down there. Astros are banged up right now. They're out their 2 catchers, Brian McCann and Evan Gattis, are both on the disabled list. McCann went on the DL today, so they've got Juan Centeno back there. Called up Max Stassi from the minors to be the backup catcher. No Carlos Correa. Just got their ace starter Dallas Keuchel back after a long layoff a couple of weeks ago. Greinke drops the curveball in for a strike, and it's 1-1. But Correa injured his thumb sliding headfirst into home plate in a game at Atlanta July the 4th. Played with a sore thumb for a while, then aggravated the injury just after the All-Star break, and they found a torn ligament, so he had to have surgery. 1-1 on Marwin Gonzalez. That's chopped foul. Just another good example. I mean, Correa slid headfirst into home. He banged the thumb up against some catcher's gear on a play at the plate, and they lose one of their best players for a couple of months.
That's the bad news. The good news is you've got somebody like Marwin Gonzalez to step in. He's hitting .314. He's hit 20 home runs, driven in 68.
20 home runs already, by far a career high for Marwin Gonzalez.
Gonzalez really changed his approach at the plate. He used to carry his hands very high, try to drive down and through the ball, get some backspin, hit lots of line drives. But you can see over the last couple of years those hands are getting lower and lower and lower, and from that low slot he's got a little bit more of an uppercut in his swing. He's hitting more fly balls, and some of those are leaving the park.
He's an enormously valuable player. He switch hits. He can play virtually any position on the field defensively. And for the time being, filling in at shortstop while Correa's out. Slider on 1 and 2 is in the dirt. This Astros ball club, even when they're undermanned, there's Carlos Correa. They're still dangerous. Houston leading the major leagues in runs, hits, home runs, batting average, and OPS.
Pretty much covers it.
Yeah, doesn't it? They are 72 and 45, the best record in the American League. 12 games up on the Angels, leading the American League West Division. 2-2 on Gonzalez. Fastball got away from Greinke. Back-to-back full counts for Zach. Open up the second. He had a 13-pitch first inning, Zach Greinke, and he's already thrown 13 pitches here in the second. 7 to Bregman and 6 to Gonzalez. Derek Fisher, the left fielder, on deck. Here's the 3-2. Bregman takes off for second. Curveball called strike 3, and they got him at second. The strike him out, throw him out, and Marwin Gonzalez is barking at Ramon DeJesus, the plate umpire. A.J. Hinch has to get out there and save his shortstop. Gonzalez is hot.
That's a high breaking ball. They get the call from Ramon DeJesus behind the plate, and then a perfect throw by Jeff Mathis. Quick tag down there by Ketel Marte to complete the strike him out, throw him out double play.
Third strikeout for Greinke. Quickly bases empty, 2 down for Derek Fisher. Jeff Mathis throws out Bregman at second. Fisher has played in only 23 games with Houston this year. First round pick by the Astros out of the University of Virginia 3 years ago. Great job by Toby with our replay on that strike him out, throw him out. Fisher 247 and 4 homers. Well, we were talking about this the other day. More and more baseball players coming out of UVA, including Pavin Smith, the Diamondbacks' first-round pick in this year's draft. Fisher, a first-rounder out of Virginia back in 2014. It's a program on the rise. Well, that curveball, he's throwing that pitch for strikes here tonight. Saw a lot of curveballs very early in Greinke's last start.
And the one to Gonzalez may have been at the top of the zone, but that's a perfect pitch right there. Drops it right on the outside corner at the knees.
2-2. Gets a hold of a fastball and drives it deep to center. AJ's got room. Bottom two coming up, the Diamondbacks and the Astros. No score.
Have the only base hit, no runs scored in the game yet. Hey fans, a D-backs home run today means a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-the-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Paul Goldschmidt leads off the second against Colin McHugh. Goldie hitting .318. He's got 28 home runs. He homered yesterday against the Cubs. And he's hit home runs in 3 of his last 5 games. Slow curveball, ball 1. Here's Goldie yesterday. Off Wade Davis in the 9th.
It's starting to get personal. Goldie against the Cubs pitching staff.
He's got some serious ownage on Wade Davis. That's becoming a thing. 1-1 here to Goldie. I think we need to acknowledge the precedent-setting scene we just witnessed in the latest edition of D-backs Match Game in between innings. Had a young lady down there who just won easily going away. Swing and a miss. There's the curveball.
Very impressive. Yeah.
But she had a new tactic. Instead of turning over 2 at a time, you know, everybody goes 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. She turned over 1 card at a time. Never seen anybody do that before.
No. I have to check the bylaws.
Yeah. There's that McHugh slider. That's his new pitch that he's picked up this year. He's getting a lot of swings and misses with it. And he's got his first strikeout.
It's a good one, too. A lot of downward action. That's the key to any good slider. Otherwise, it's just a flat, same, plain breaking ball that's a very hittable off-speed pitch. But if you get that kind of downward movement on your slider, much like Zach Greinke, that's going to be a very effective pitch.
J.D. Martinez, the Astros will put 3 infielders on the left-hand side against J.D. You see Jose Altuve in the middle there. The second baseman on the shortstop side of the bag. There's strike 1, slider from McHugh. Martinez, 287 and 23 home runs. Originally drafted by the Astros, a 20th round pick back in '09 out of Nova Southeastern University. That's in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, the Astros, this is the guy who got away from the current Houston regime. They decided to just release J.D. Martinez near the end of spring training 3 years ago, and they have regretted it ever since.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big miss. I mean, it happens in this game. J.D. Martinez, as a member of the Astros, didn't really show the kind of consistent offensive performance that he did as a member of the Tigers, and so far here as a member of the D-backs.
Martinez sends one out to right center. Reddick makes a spectacular catch. Josh Reddick takes extra bases away from J.D. Martinez, a former Gold Glove winner out there in right for the Astros.
Ball slicing away from Springer out there in center field, but Josh Reddick, a good defensive outfielder, really closed ground at the end right there. Kind of took a little bit of a banana route, but ultimately gets to the spot, makes a nice diving catch.
That was like a wrestler going off the top rope there. McHugh's fired up. Reddick, a big WrestleMania guy. Here's Descalso, the second baseman tonight. Astros overload the right-hand side. Descalso 237 and 6 homers, 0 for 4 yesterday in his start against the Cubs. Seen a lot of different pitches from Colin McHugh. Fastballs, curveballs, that new slider. He's thrown a few cutters. And a changeup.
My recollection of McHugh from the past was he was a guy that worked vertically through a lot of high fastballs and then came back with that big over-the-top curve. You know, working the top and bottom of the strike zone with those two pitches more so than the sinker slider he's featuring now.
Missed with a fastball away there, and it's 3-1. Well, maybe that new slider changed the equation a little bit for Colin McHugh. That's high in the air down the right field line, but it's hooking foul. Colin McHugh is coming off a loss in his previous start. That was last Wednesday at the White Sox, and he got hit pretty hard there. 7 runs, 9 hits, and only 5 1/3.
Also walked 3 batters in that game, gave up a home run through 95 pitches to get through 5 1/3.
A lot of trouble commanding that new slider. Descalso dunks one into right center, and that's going to get to the wall. Daniel Descalso will stop at second, a 2-out double. 14th double for Descalso this year. That's the first D-backs hit.
Yeah, that one split the gap perfectly. Springer had shaded over into the gap in left center a little bit. Reddick stayed straight up in right field, leaving enough of a gap for Daniel Descalso to bang it out there to the 413 mark. Yeah, Daniel broke stride there around first base, probably eliminating any chance of possibly going to third. And with 2 outs in the inning, you have to be 100% sure you can make it to third base. You're already in scoring position with 2 outs.
Laughing it up down there with Jose Altuve, so a chance to get Descalso home with 2 down for Ketel Marte. 270 and 4 homers. Switch hitting shortstop. Fastball's a strike, and it's 0-1. Ketel walked twice and scored a run in the ball game yesterday against the Cubs. Juan Centeno, the catcher tonight. Astros aren't without their 2 primary catchers, both Brian McCann and El Oso Blanco. Evan Gattis on the DL. Centeno playing only his 6th game with the Astros this year. Floated that curveball up there, and it's 1-2. Doubled up on the curveball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Colin McHugh gets a lot of spin on that curve, as we mentioned earlier. That thing breaks a whole bunch. That's what the Astros actually first liked about him after he pitched for the Mets and the Rockies earlier in his career. Play on at second, and Descalso's back in time. Get through. There it is. Here comes Descalso, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks. Marte digging for second, and he's in there. Ketel Marte, that's his 7th double. 1-0 D-backs. As slow a roller as ever did get through the infield, but it produces the game's first run.
Hit them where they ain't. A little ground ball, but big split up the middle. You see the spray of pitches here from McHugh. A lot of breaking balls, a lot of off-speed pitches down and in. Ultimately gets one at 85 over the heart of the plate. Takes advantage of that big gap up the middle. Drives home the first run of the game.
And goes flying into second. So he's in scoring position now for Jeff Mathis. Back-to-back 2-out doubles for the Diamondbacks. Mathis 213 and 2 homers. Jeff is hitless in his last 2 starts following that 11-game hitting streak. Ahead 2 balls and no strikes with Greinke on deck. Cutter. Boy, fastball, slider, curveball, cutter, changeup. He's got everything out there. Pitcher on deck, first base open. He spits on the 3-0 fastball, and they'll work to Zach Greinke with 2 on and 2 out.
Pitcher number 21, Zach Greinke.
At bat by Jeff Mathis might have been different if you had a pitcher hitting behind him who doesn't handle the bat as well as Zach Greinke. A lot of times that number 8 hitter is expected to go out of the strike zone to try to drive home that runner from second base with the pitcher hitting behind him, but Zach handles himself pretty well up there at the plate, so Jeff Mathis content to take the 4-pitch walk.
Zach has a couple of RBIs on the baseball card so far this year. 2 on and 2 out, a run is home. Marte is at second and Mathis at first. Another cut fastball from McHugh. Centeno wants a word. He's fallen behind Greinke 2-0. Fastball fouled away. 2 balls and 1 strike. D-backs tied with the Rockies for the National League wild card lead. Colorado is back home tonight hosting the Atlanta Braves. That game is scoreless in the 6th inning. Colin McHugh, a former Colorado Rocky. Chops the fastball. Bregman at third. Bear hands it and makes a nice play. But the Diamondbacks strike first. Ketel Marte, an RBI double, makes it 1-0. 1-0. There you go, fans. Don't forget you can now participate in our D-backs 50-50 charity raffle from home, along with all of us here at Chase Field. You can purchase your tickets online for your chance to win half the pot tonight and help kids in our community. You can buy your tickets at dbacks.com/5050 raffle, and then stay tuned for the Diamondbacks live post-game show to find out if you've won. And if you're thinking, maybe I'll do it tomorrow or something. Well, the last two winners here in the 50-50, BB, as you know, have been online winners from home.
Big winners.
So that pot, current jackpot is right now about 5,700. It'll be a whole lot more than that by the time we're done.
I think one of the winners this weekend went home with $37,000, with another 37 grand going to D-backs charities.
There's a great crowd here this weekend for that Cubs series. Diamondbacks hosted more than 123,000 fans over the weekend. Juan Centeno, the Astros catcher, leads off the third. 7 hits and 20 at bats for Houston this season. He's homered twice. Don't often see teams lose both their catchers, but that's what happened here to the Astros. Brian McCann just placed on the disabled list today with a sore right knee. And Evan Gattis has been out for a while after suffering a concussion earlier this month. Gattis came off the 7-day concussion DL protocol and still wasn't ready to return, so he went on the 10-day disabled list. So they have Juan Centeno as their catchers and Max Stassi, who was just called up for the minor leagues today. Called strike 3. A fastball got him looking for strikeouts for Greinke.
Pitcher number 31.
Wearing out that outside part of the plate, outside corner down there around the knees. That's the pitch that's going to get Zach Greinke either a called strike or soft contact, which is what he's always looking for.
There's Mike Butcher on the right, the D-backs pitching coach, along with the skipper Torey Lovullo. The pitcher Colin McHugh. Batting average of 0 this year, 77 for his career. Five strikeouts through the first 9 Houston batters for Zach Greinke. And he'll work to the leadoff man, George Springer, who struck out to start the ball game.
Not often you have a leadoff hitter that leads the team in home runs, but George Springer with his 28 is pacing the way for these Astros this year. They have 11 players in double digits in home runs this year. Now, as you mentioned, Correa's on the DL, Gattis, McCann both on the DL. There's still 11 players on their roster that have reached double digits in homers already this year.
Yeah, Springer's having a big year with 28. George Springer is a New England kid. He played his high school ball at Avon Old Farms in Connecticut, where the Hartford Whalers used to have their practices, and he went to UConn. He was a teammate of Nick Ahmed with the Huskies. There's Nick. That was a good UConn baseball team. Mike Olt was on that team. Matt Barnes, the Red Sox pitcher.
Well, with Nick at shortstop and George Springer in center field, you know they played pretty good defense.
Nick was a 2nd-round pick out of UConn by the Atlanta Braves, and Springer 1st-round pick by the Astros back in 2011. Lays off a fastball, and it's 2-2. Don't often see those northeastern schools develop good baseball programs, given the weather and everything they have to deal with. Out in front of that slider. Full count, 3-2. Hard to short, Ketel Marte. It gets behind Goldie. Springer heads for second, and he's in there. Springer never stopped coming around first. A hard but errant throw from the Diamondbacks shortstop, Ketel Marte.
I'm not sure if Ketel ever had a good grip on that ball. You see right there, it almost comes out of his glove. Just a slight hesitation before unleashing that throw across the diamond wide of the bag. Goldie couldn't get out there in time to make the play. Nice stop by Marte. Just threw a hard cutter across the diamond that time.
That's a single for Springer. E6. The error on Marte puts him at second base. 2 down for the major league's leading hitter, Jose Altuve, who struck out his first time up.
We talked a lot about Jose Altuve already in this ball game. He's going to be our State Farm winning combo. He's approaching history with his .420 road batting average, the highest since 1913. Happened back in the 1925 season. Harry Heilman hit .456 on the road. Altuve going to have to get real hot to catch that.
He's on a list with Hornsby, Cobb, and Musial.
Yeah, how about that?
And this is a guy that, when he showed up at an open tryout back home in Venezuela, nobody wanted. They sent him home. Came back the next day anyway, ran pretty well, and the Astros said, "Oh, we'll give you $15,000 to sign." And he said, "Okay," and here he is. A few batting titles and all-star games later. Fastball's a strike, and it's 1-2.
Astros doing a lot of barking at home plate umpire Ramon DeJesus in the early going today. It's another one of those pitches on that corner there, right at the knees.
It's a good call by Ramon DeJesus back there. We're talking about Jose Altuve on the road. Since the start of last season, his on-base percentage in road games is .460. So that's basically 2 years where he gets on base in road games half the time. That's amazing.
It really is. This guy's just unbelievable. I mean, we've talked about him already throughout this game. He can hit home runs. He can steal bases. He'll take his walks. Plays great defense. There's really nothing on the baseball field that he doesn't do at a very high level.
Steals bases, plays Gold Glove defense. Hitting for power this year, 18 homers. Had a home run yesterday, in fact, at Texas. Chases that one in the dirt. It's going to roll away from Mathis. No chance to get Altuve, and Springer moves into third. Well, we saw this in the first inning with Zach Godley yesterday. Strikeout and a wild pitch.
Hopefully get the same result. Get another strikeout to have 4 for the inning. Altuve did not run immediately, but by the time Jeff Mathis got to that ball, it was going to be a long throw with George Springer coming around the bag at third. He might have been able to score had they tried to throw Altuve out at first.
Well, Godley in that first inning yesterday became only the second Diamondbacks pitcher ever with 4 strikeouts in 1 inning. Oliver Perez was the other one. Greinke has the opportunity to match that now. Second time it would happen in 2 days, but he's got to get Josh Reddick, who singled to left his first time up. Josh Reddick got a 4-year, $52 million free agent deal from the Astros last November, after he split last season between the A's and the Dodgers. There's the Greinke curveball, and it's 1-1. It's kind of surprising, actually, that Reddick got $52 million for 4 years coming off the season he had last year, and they signed him fairly early in the free agent signing period. It was one of the first moves. wasn't able to help LA very much. Reddick 47 games with the Dodgers, only 8 extra base hits. He was kind of a disappointment. One and one. Springer's at third. Altuve with very good speed at first. Popped him up. Here comes Goldie. Zach Greinke strands 2. He keeps it 1-0 D-backs. Showstopper Giancarlo Stanton. He hit another home run, his 43rd this year. That's a new Marlins record. Stanton has now homered in 5 consecutive games. He's hit 10 homers in his last 11 games.
My.
What a run for Giancarlo Stanton. That was earlier tonight at Marlins Park in Miami. The Marlins beat the Giants 8-3. He's homered in 5 straight games, 10 homers in his last 11. He may have worked himself into the MVP discussion in the National League. If he keeps it up, he winds up with 60, then he's going to get some votes.
He's going to go well over 100 RBI on the season.
Gregor Blanco. There's that Colin McHugh curveball. It's 1-2. I mean, for me, Goldie is the front runner, especially with Bryce Harper injured now. We don't know when he's going to be back. Charlie Blackmon's had a magnificent season for the Rockies, and Cody Bellinger has been a game changer for the Dodgers. But if Stanton keeps this run going, he's going to be in the discussion.
Oh, absolutely. There's some guys not on that list that'll get some consideration. Joey Votto of the Reds, Nolan Arenado of the Rockies, Ryan Zimmerman of the Nationals, but pretty good list to start with right there, those 5.
Zimmerman had a tremendous first half. He's cooled off a bit, I think, in the second half. But Goldie has pretty much stayed the course. And if the Diamondbacks do wind up in the postseason, I think he has to be considered the front runner, especially if Harper misses a chunk of time after that almost catastrophic injury the other day. It's a miracle he wasn't seriously injured.
It would have been a lot worse. I mean, it couldn't have looked much worse.
It looked like Cody. It looked just like Cody Ross here a few years ago. There's that McHugh curveball, and he rings up Blanco for his 2nd strikeout. And when I saw Bryce Harper, Bob, the first thing I thought of was Cody Ross here when Cody had that gruesome hip and leg injury at Chase Field.
Another high breaking ball there. We've seen Zach Greinke the beneficiary of that high strike call on the breaking pitches. Some umpires just won't give you that off-speed pitch at the top of the zone.
It's the same kind of pitch that Zach Greinke was able to strike out Marwin Gonzalez with on that strike him out, throw him out back in the second. Here's A.J. Pollock. A.J. was hit on the forearm by a pitch his first time up. Came in with a fastball, and it's 1-1. Still no score in that Rockies game. Braves and Rockies at Coors Field, scoreless in the 7th.
That was a Chad Bettis start back off the disabled list for the Rockies.
Yeah, back from his cancer battle, and apparently he's pitching very well. D-backs tied with the Rockies for the wild card lead. 4.5 games ahead of St. Louis. And 5.5 up on Milwaukee. Both the Cardinals and the Brewers are off today. Cardinals begin a road trip to Boston and Pittsburgh this week. Milwaukee hosts the Pirates tomorrow night. 1-2 on A.J. Struck him out. And McHugh slider. 2 strikeouts open up the third.
Talked about it earlier in the ball game. This is a tough pitch for any right-handed hitter, but especially for A.J. lately. That slider that starts on the outer third looks like a strike, and it just drops off that outside corner.
This is the shift that they put on against Jake Lamb. Jake hit right into it his first time up for a rare 3-5-1 double play. After A.J. had been hit by a pitch with 1 out, there's a strike. Tried the backdoor curveball, a bit missed. It's a ball and a strike. There's the cutter coming in on the hands of the left-hand batter from the right-hand pitcher. And he floats a curveball out there and Jake's ahead 3-1. Jake's already walked more this year than he did all of last season. Goldie on deck. Lamb's on base percentage up about 40 points from the previous 2 years. Full count now 3-2. And even when he's got 2 strikes on him like he does right here, Jake Lamb is chasing pitches out of the strike zone only about half as often as the league average hitter. His plate discipline has been terrific this year.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Full count 3-2. Got a fastball and he banged it into center. Jake Lamb thinking about a double and he is in there. 24th double for Lamb, 3rd double tonight for the Diamondbacks. And all 3 have come with 2 outs.
2 of the 3 doubles were just hustle doubles. Marte stretches into a double. This time Jake Lamb bangs it into center field. Busts it out of the batter's box. That's the only way you even have a thought about trying to go for 2. And Jake gets in there safely with the slide at second base with 2 outs in the inning. He's in scoring position for Gold.
Well, the last time the Diamondbacks were in this situation was an inning ago. Descalso, a 2-out double. Ketel Marte followed that with a double, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks. We'll see if Goldie can get Lamb home here from second with 2 down. Goldie struck out his first time up. to the slider. It's 1-0. Goldie in his last 19 games has 7 homers and 19 runs batted in. Another slider, 1-1. That one dropped in there for a strike.
I mentioned Marte's double drove home Daniel Descalso, meaning the Diamondbacks on the night are 1 for 2 with runners in scoring position. So far on this homestand coming into play tonight, they were 7 for 47. That's a 149 average with runners in scoring position.
Got the cut fastball that time. As Torrey said, his team right now just kind of wandering and drifting through certain segments of the game. But we got the rally cowboy ready to go here.
Hyper focused.
Pulled out every trick in the book. Got Goldie to chase a curveball. And McHugh gets a big strikeout, his 4th of the ball game. It stays 1-0 D-backs.
We've talked a lot about the Colin McHugh slider in the game tonight, but Zach Greinke's slider has been pretty filthy too. Just off the outside corner, bounces it in the dirt with 2 strikes to get a couple of chases. Boy, when he's commanding that slider the way he is tonight, he's a handful.
And he's walked 1. He's got 6 strikeouts through 3 innings. And there's a fastball to Yuli Gurriel to lead off the 4th. Gurriel tapped back to the mound his first time up. Doubles up on the fastball and jumps ahead 0-2. Gurriel is a very good 2-strike hitter. Experienced international player both in Cuba and Japan. .22 plate appearances now without striking out. He'll chase a fastball away from time to time, but he's pretty good at laying off breaking balls down there. Pretty disciplined hitter. It stays fair, backhanded by Lamb. Tough throw. And they got him. Pretty play at third by Jake Lamb.
A.J. Hinch with a hand up in the air on that first base side. Astros want to take a look at a very close play at first base that time. Have the umpires take a look. Backhanded play by Jake Lamb. Throws on the move. Couldn't get as much on that throw as he would like. A long hop for Goldie.
You heard the Coaches tell A.J. Hinch, plain and simple, he's safe.
Ladies and gentlemen, the previous play is
That's
under
what their
official
video people are
replay
saying.
review. Call on the field is that the batter runner was out at first base.
Here's another look. Remember, it's a catch when it's in the back of the mitt. And he is safe.
After video replay review, the batter runner is safe.
So that's
at
the
first
third
base.
hit for the Astros, all singles. Yuli Gurriel leads it off with a base hit. Here's Alex Bregman.
At the plate, third baseman Alex Bregman.
Bregman walked his first time up. Bregman had his problems earlier this summer. He only hit about .215 in June. But he's really turned the corner after a difficult month. Since July the 4th, he's hit .336. Second overall pick in the draft 2 years ago out of LSU. Man at third. Descalso for one, and they roll it.
13th double play of the season for Alex Bregman. That's about as routine as it gets. A hard hit ball right at the third baseman. Good turn at second base by Descalso, just in time to get that double play.
Marwin Gonzalez struck out looking at a curveball his first time. Keeping an eye on that game in Colorado for you. The Rockies and the Braves now scoreless through 7 as they head to the 8th inning at Coors Field. D-backs and Rockies tied for the National League Wild Card lead. What you think about what Torrey said about the time of year? He said it, you know, kind of sometimes baseball gets a little sloppy this time of year. Middle of August, guys are a little tired.
There's always the physical component of it. I mean, you know, fans come out here to the ballpark and see 1 or 2 games of a homestand, and they think that we don't play the rest of the time. The Diamondbacks and every other team in the major leagues, you pretty much play every day. It takes a physical toll this time of year. The bumps and the bruises and the foul balls.
Gonzalez shoots one into left center. His 22nd double, Marwin Gonzalez.
But I think the thing that Torrey was most upset about was the mental mistakes. They don't show up as an error in the box score, but guys that don't back up where they're supposed to be, or don't throw the ball to the cutoff man where they're supposed to. Just little things that happen over the course of the ball game that cost you a run here or a couple of outs there and could make the difference in a ball game. And this time of year, you really have to maintain your focus and your intensity.
Yeah, Torrey hoping to eliminate those drifting moments and stay on point with this ball club, which has lost 6 of its last 8 games. The left fielder Derek Fisher up there now. Gonzalez at second and 2 outs. Fisher flied out to center his first time up tonight. Fisher was having a big year with AAA Fresno. He was down there, hit .318 with 21 home runs. Just 23 games on his big league resume coming into tonight. Descalso, top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. A Strand Gonzalez at second. It's 1-0 Diamondbacks. Daniel Descalso. He's got some hops. Routine is out right now for Xbox One, PS4, iOS, Android, the whole thing. Enjoy fast-paced, pick-up-and-play MLB action, packed with all your favorite major league teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Your breakout MLB season is here, so you better come ready to play. Learn more at RBIGame.com. J.D. Martinez leads off the Diamondback fourth against Colin McHugh. Ketel Marte, an RBI double in the second, the game's only run so far. J.D. flying out his first time up tonight. "23 home runs on the season, 7 with the Diamondbacks." Astros have the shift on the left-hand side of the infield. Scalzo, who doubled and scored his first time up, is on deck. Colin McHugh so far has walked 1. He struck out 4. Fastball is strike 1, says Ramon De Jesus back there.
It might be one of those 3-0 automatic strikes. If it's close to the zone, most pitchers will get the call on 3-0. That one just off the corner and up.
Three and 2. Cut fastball that time.
You get the strike call out there off the outside corner on the previous pitch, and he throws a cutter out there in that same location. You're almost obliged to swing at it because the one before had been called a strike.
Martinez sends one deep right field. Reddick on the track. Allowed out number 1.
Hey fans, a day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Daniel Descalso now. Descalso, a 2-out double in the second, drove it to the gap in right center, and came home on Ketel Marte's RBI double. Now the Astros put 3 defenders on the right-hand side of the infield. There's ball 1. "70 pitches for Colin McHugh, only 36 for strikes. This is sliced high in the air, deep left center, and Springer's got it for the second out."
How about this one, partner? In over 1,800 games played at Coors Field since 1995, for only the 5th time in history, a game goes into the 8th inning with no score.
5 times?
5 times since 1995. A scoreless game into the 8th.
Right now it's Braves and Rockies 0-0, 8th inning at Coors. Marte, a base hit. He's 2 for 2. Ketel Marte, another 2-out base hit.
Left-handed hitters that go to the opposite field make it look so easy. Let the ball get deep in the zone. Quick strike swing, get the barrel on it, drive it through that left side. Pretty swing that time for Marte.
See if Jeff Mathis can find a gap here. Jeff walked his first time up with a pitcher Greinke behind him. That Rockies game, Chad Bettis in his return from cancer up against Julio Teheran. That one squibs foul. Braves have 6 hits. Colorado has 4. Bettis tonight in his return was just outstanding. 7 scoreless innings. He gave up 6 hits, struck out 2. Tehran punched out 8 in 7 scoreless innings, only 4 hits allowed.
Former D-back Ender Inciarte got thrown out at home plate trying to leg out a inside the park home run. The relay throw was started by former D-back Gerardo Parra to Trevor Story to Jonathan Lucroy just in time to get Inciarte at the plate.
That might be coincidence and irony. And Chad Bennis, 7 scoreless innings, 90 pitches. He had 12 ground ball outs. So they're in the home half of the 8th inning right now in Denver. Mathis down 0-2. Aaron Judge hit another home run for the Yankees tonight. Yankees beat the Mets 4-2 at Yankee Stadium. Cubs are leading the Reds 7-2. Cubs tonight hit back-to-back home runs for the 3rd time in 4 games. Rizzo and Bryant. 8th time this year the Cubbies went back-to-back. That guy's left over from the weekend. Dude, I woke up and I was still in the bleachers, man.
Where's Chris Bryant?
They were playing another game, so I just stayed. 0-2. At the swing and a miss. The slider from McHugh gets his 5th strikeout. Through 4, 1-0 Diamondbacks.
Moments for me personally. Obviously, I have this special love for basketball. I wanted to play basketball at UCLA, so it seems like Earl took care of that for me. But I just think there's something special to everything merging the way it is with the professional sports teams in the same town.
We both represent Phoenix. We're both in downtown. We're so close to each other. And now that I know my fellow Bruin to the right loves basketball, maybe we can play pickup. I don't know, get in shape together.
Earl Watson and Torey Lovullo earlier today promoting the Suns night at the D-backs. That comes up on September 12th, and the pickup game is on, by the way. Torey Lovullo and the coaches are ready to take on any of those Suns at any time, and it sounds like that'll happen a little later on. The one thing that we came away with from that news conference today, guys, was the fact that they both love the Valley so much. They both fall in love with the state of Arizona and the sports fans, but they still have that love for UCLA. And the really great stories we heard today, both of them talking about how much the Wizard of Westwood, John Wooden, really had an influence on their lives because he was, of course, still around when both were on campus, and they learned so much about sports and learned so much about being young men.
Yeah, you're right, Pat. Torrey has Coach Wooden's pyramid of success on the wall in his office here at Chase Field. 2-0 to Juan Centeno, the Astros catcher, who leads off the 5th against Zach Greinke. And that Suns night that Pat mentioned is Tuesday, September 12th. You can get a special event ticket package, including a lower level baseline reserve ticket, a co-branded D-back Suns cap for just $25. Special event ticket pack available online right now, dbacks.com/Suns. Centeno sends this out to Blanco in left field, 1 away.
And that pickup game, I'd like to see that one.
Well, the coaches play pickup basketball once every road trip, and they will recruit other people. I mean, Leo Gilmartin on the radio side has played with Torrey and the guys a few times. They all get there. Mike Butcher and Mike Fetters. Dave Magadan, I'm told, has a fantastic fadeaway jump shot, like Dick Barnett. Leo Gilmartin will put a body on you. Now, from the scouting reports that I've had from Torrey, Leo doesn't run much. He tends to be stationary, but Leo can ball. Now you can assign your own definition to whatever that means. But it's funny because we'll walk into Torrey's office and they'll play. Whenever they're on the road, they'll find a gym somewhere. Somebody will know a guy and they'll call up and they'll play a game. But Torrey will have pictures on his phone from the basketball games, and he'll show off his jump shooting form. Pretty proud of his hoop game.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the road trip, none of the coaches can move.
That's true. Nor can Leo.
Well, I'm not sure Leo ever moved. 7 strikeouts for Zach Greinke.
Well, the Rockies have finally broken through in Colorado. A Gerardo Parra RBI single scored Charlie Blackmon after he had tripled to lead off the inning. Rockies are up 1-0 in the bottom of the 8th.
Rockies and D-backs tied for the first wild card spot. George Springer has struck out and singled, 1 for 2.
Springer, one of these new wave of players. I put Corey Seager and Cody Bellinger into that category as well. They swing hard. He gets a pitch close to that strike zone. He doesn't leave anything in the bag. He's trying to do some serious damage. Now with 2 strikes, he will cut down a little bit, but a lot of these young players are not afraid to swing hard and uppercut and get the ball in the air.
What do you think about that?
Well, I think the numbers would say for some guys it's working extremely well. Just another adjustment in the game of baseball. You know, for a long time everybody was a high ball hitter, and then the strike zone got lower and lower and wider, and more guys became low ball hitters. Well, now the guys are getting down underneath that low ball and lifting it in the air, so you might see the pitchers adjust again, maybe start throwing more high fastballs. But this is a titanic shift for offensive players to go up there and not be afraid to strike out. And the upside is you hit more home runs.
Martinez runs that one down. Greinke a 1-2-3 5th inning. D-backs lead the Astros 1-0. doubles. They lead the Astros 1-0. Fans, if you can't watch Diamondbacks games on your TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device. Use Fox Sports Go. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. You can download the free app and take Fox Sports Arizona and the Diamondbacks with you wherever you go. Zach Greinke leads off the home half of the 5th against Colin McHugh. Only the 5th start this season for Colin McHugh. He was out the first 4 months of the year with elbow trouble. Had to be shut down this spring with what at the time they called a right elbow impingement. They later called it shoulder tendonitis, so take your pick. Out in front of a curveball there, 1-2.
An upper body injury.
Yeah, it's like hockey. So he didn't make his first start this year until July 22nd. And so far he's walked 1, he struck out 5, given up 4 hits. Got him.
Hey fans, don't miss the D-backs Giants weekend series here at Chase Field, August 25th through the 27th. The first 20,000 fans to the game on Saturday, August 26th will get the D-backs cooler bag courtesy of Arizona Milk Producers. Visit dbacks.com for tickets.
Well, as we mentioned at the top of our show, we want to congratulate the Peralta family, David and Jordan. Little baby Sophia just arrived, so David is on paternity leave. Gregor Blanco playing left field and batting leadoff tonight. And here is the freight train. David was tweeting pictures of himself waiting in the hospital room last night. And baby Sophia arrived. Worth every second, he said.
I wonder if there was a train whistle at the moment of birth.
Should have been. Woo-hoo. You and I should have gone over there outside the waiting room and with
Sophie
brought your train whistle.
Congratulations to the Peraltas.
J.J. Hoover and Silvino Braccio have joined the Diamondbacks bullpen. Jake Barrett was optioned to Reno and David on the paternity leave list. And he figures to miss no more than 3 days, maybe only 2. We'll see. Diamondbacks have a day game tomorrow, a 12:40 start against the Astros. Then we're off to Houston.
Now look how loose Gregor Blanco holds that bat with the top hand as he's waiting for McHugh to get ready. He's just kind of rolling it around in his fingertips. Watch the right hand. Look at it, just very gently rolling the bat around, and as McHugh gets ready to deliver, he gets his grip and he's ready to go.
Well, McHugh really keeps you off balance with the slider, the curveball. He can come in with a fastball or a cutter. Really mixing things up pretty well tonight.
Some guys do similar things at the plate. They'll wiggle their fingers or do something to eliminate stress in their wrists and their forearms as they're waiting for that pitcher to deliver the ball. And then as the ball's being delivered, that's when he gets his final grip on that bat and he's ready to go.
He's the complete polar opposite of Hunter Pence.
Oh yeah.
Pence is a coiled spring up there.
Squeezing sawdust out of the handle of the bat. Just nice and easy and relaxed. And okay, now let's go.
Change up missed, and it's full 3-2. Rockies have added to their lead. Colorado now leads Atlanta 3-0 in the 8th inning.
Carlos Gonzalez drove in a couple runs with a single to push the lead to 3-zip.
Up the middle, Alex Bregman, that's the third baseman with the shift on, throws about 5-3. Time for the unlimited baseball break. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Diamondbacks and the Rockies tied for the NL wild card lead. 4.5 up on St. Louis. Brewers are 5.5 back. We gave you that Rockies score, 3-0 at Coors Field over Atlanta. The Cubs leading the NL Central, beating up on the Reds at Wrigley Field. Cardinals off tonight. Brewers off tonight. Here's A.J. Pollock, 0 for 2. 0 for 1, pardon me, hit by pitch his first time up. He'll throw that cutter in, try and sneak it back through the front door on the right-hand hitter. He'll throw it away to the righty. Really mixing up pitches and location. 90 pitches, 51 strikes. Floated another cut fastball in there, and it's 1-2. Colin McHugh from Lilburn, Georgia. He pitched at Berry College, which is in Mount Berry, Georgia. An 18th round pick by the Mets back in the 2008 draft. On the ground to Marwin Gonzalez at shortstop. We've played 5 innings at Chase Field. Diamondbacks lead the Astros 1-0.
Baseball history, we flash back to the 2007 season. Chipper Jones called out on an inside pitch. Ted Barrett gives Bobby Cox the heave-ho for the 132nd time in his career. Bobby was saying it was that far inside. He broke the record held by John McGraw. It took John McGraw 42 years to get ejected 131 times. Took Bobby Cox 28 years. He finished with 161 ejections. That's a record that'll probably never be broken with the challenge system in place and the electronic strike zone coming soon.
I really do miss the toe-to-toe, jaw-to-jaw arguments that replay is basically eliminated. Here's Jose Altuve to lead off the 6th against Zach Greinke.
Get enough of those at home.
Wait, what? You are a liar, Earl. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Earl Weaver?
No, you are. Bruce Bochy is the active leader with managerial ejections with 61. So I think Bobby's safe.
Jose Altuve has struck out twice against Zach Greinke, and he's down 0-2 here. Altuve leading the majors in batting average and hits. Zach Greinke, you could see, shook off and then remembered, wait, I was supposed to throw that pitch.
Yeah.
Zach will do that from time to time.
Slider it is.
Well, you know, speaking of ejection, some of the members of your staff, they didn't want you to feel left out, so they put together this. Of 13 career ejections, but only 11 as a manager. Tim McClellan ejecting you there. It's nice work. Good throw there.
Well,
how did you get ejected when you were out there and he was behind the plate?
because he was back there. A walk to Barry Bonds. We threw about 4 pitches right down the middle of the plate. Not this particular one, the one with Tim McClellan.
That's C.B. Bucknor.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
Stunning.
No, but the one with Tim McClellan, Barry Bonds walked after we threw him about 4 strikes in an at bat, and I went out to make the pitching change, and I said, just stand here until he comes out. Well, he never came out. He stayed in the on-deck circle. So I started yelling at him from the mound. He ejected me, and that's when I fired the ball up into the second deck.
Jose Altuve, it's the first time this season that Altuve has struck out 3 times in a game. Hitting .362, number 1 in baseball, leading the majors in hits. Josh Reddick looks at strike 1. Greinke now with 8 strikeouts. He's retired 5 in a row. That Rockies Braves game has gone to the top of the 9th inning now at Colorado. Rockies have a 3-0 lead. Fastball misses up, and it's 2-1 on Josh Reddick.
It's been over 3 years since Jose Altuve struck out 3 times in a game.
Wow. Once, well, to his credit, he did reach one of those strikeouts tonight on a strikeout wild pitch. But that's a job well done against Jose Altuve. But now he's behind on Reddick 3-1. Yuli Gurriel on deck. Threw a hard changeup, but he missed in the dirt. Second walk for Greinke.
There's a lot of weapons in this Astros offensive lineup, but if you can keep Jose Altuve out of the mix for the most part, you got a much better chance of beating this ball club.
Yuli Gurriel, the Cuban import, singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Gurriel hot right now. He's hitting .360 in his last dozen games. Started him out with a curveball, 1-0. Gurriel signed by the Astros last summer, got a 5-year, $47.5 million deal coming out of Cuba. That's behind Gary Pettis coaching at third. There's Karen Howlin' Wolf, our Golden Glover down the left field line. Long run for Karen. Nice job. Zach Greinke so far 5 scoreless innings. He's given up only 4 hits. He's walked 2, struck out 8. Fastball is in there. 1-2.
Gurriel, very little chance that he's going to work a count and draw a base on balls. He's only walked 12 times in over 400 at bats this year.
Right at the knees. In front, Lamb for 1. Descalso, hey, roll it. Another double play behind Zach Greinke keeps it 1-0 Diamondbacks. And the heart of the order is coming up in the 6th. Jake Lamb will lead it off. Then it's Paul Goldschmidt, followed by the former Astro J.D. Martinez. It's 1-0 Diamondbacks. Lead the Astros 1-0. Fans, make sure you stay tuned after the game for the Diamondbacks live post-game show. It's presented by CenturyLink. They'll have post-game interviews, highlights, analysis, and the announcement of the winning number for tonight's D-backs 50-50 raffle. That's immediately after the game right here on Fox Sports Arizona. It's D-backs live, presented by CenturyLink. Jake Lamb leads off the 6th inning. Jumps on the first pitch, a curveball from McHugh. George Springer's got it. 1 pitch, 1 out in the home half of the 6th. Now the Rockies game, I'm sorry, Bob, not gone final, so Colorado has won. They beat the Braves 3-0.
I was just going to say the Diamondbacks should be a little bit more comfortable than the Astros in a one-run ball game. 1/3 of the Diamondbacks games this year, 39 of 117, have been decided by 1 run.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah, it is. It's 33% of their games, the 3rd highest percentage in the major leagues. The Astros, on the other hand, only 22 of 117 games have been a 1-run game. 19%, the lowest percentage in Major League Baseball.
They score so much, they probably didn't come up all that much. Goldie has struck out in his first 2 at-bats. Two and 1. So Colorado, with their win 3-0 over the Braves tonight, takes a half-game lead over the Diamondbacks, who are winning right now 1-0 in the 6th. Another cutter from McHugh, and it's 2-2. Goldie has hit home runs in 3 of his last 5 games. And he's worked at full 3-2. J.D. Martinez will be next. Sat back on that curveball just a bit, but fouled it off. Goldie is hitting almost .340 since the All-Star break. 28 games in the second half of the year. He's got 25 RBIs. MVP type numbers. Pitch number 100 here from Colin McHugh, and Goldie belts it into left, a base hit. Just over the glove of Bregman at third, and Goldie is in there with a double, his 27th of the year. And the 4th double tonight for the D-backs.
Right field,
Ball pulled down into the left field corner, but doesn't get all the way to the corner. Another hustle double for a Diamondbacks hitter just over Bregman at third base. And by the time Derek Fisher runs it down out there in left field, Goldie, busting it out of the batter's box, decides he's going to go for 2 and gets himself into scoring position with 1 out.
Diamondbacks have 5 hits. 4 of them are doubles tonight. He's at second, 1 out for J.D. Martinez, who was twice flied out deep to right field. And that's going to get a run home. It's in the gap in left center. Here comes Goldie. It's another double for the D-backs and a 2-0 lead. Make it 5 Diamondback doubles tonight. Second time in the ball game they've had back-to-back doubles. Both times it brought in a run.
Well, something in the scouting report told the Diamondbacks that they could run on the Astros outfield arms, and they've done so every time they've had an opportunity in this game. J.D. Martinez catches that ball a little bit out toward the end of the bat, a little soft line drive toward the gap. Routine single just about any other time, but aggressive base running out of the box and poor throwing arms. Needs another back-to-back double to score a run.
Brent Strom, the Astros pitching coach, with McHugh over 100 pitches now. Boy, J.D. Martinez, this is his 22nd game with the Diamondbacks. That was his 19th RBI. So he has really had an impact here.
Old home week out there, talking to a couple of former teammates.
JD originally drafted by the Astros, a 20th round pick back in '09. Played his first 3 major league seasons in Houston. 6 hits for the Diamondbacks tonight, 5 of them doubles. Descalso has one. He doubled in the second. Three Astro infielders on the right-hand side. Fastball missed downstairs, and it's 2-0.
5 doubles in the game for the Diamondbacks, and only Daniel Descalso's got through and rolled all the way to the wall. Everything
right.
else has just been hustle doubles running right in the face of the outfield.
Descalso drove one to right center back in the second inning. Scored on Ketel Marte's hustle RBI double. McHugh floats a curveball up there. Nothing doing. It's 3-0 on Descalso with Marte up next. Ketel Marte 2 for 2. Taking all the way on 3-0. Descalso belts it to right, and Reddick runs it down. Josh Reddick got over there quickly, and it's allowed out number 2. Boy, that was right on the barrel.
Needed to hook just a little bit more. He caught it too pure, hit it on a line just to Reddick's left a few steps, and hit it much harder than that.
A.J. Hinch, the skipper, is out there, and Colin McHugh's night will end right here. He leads trailing 2-0. Back from Chase Field after this.
In the bottom of the 6th, we told you that David Peralta and his wife Jordan just had the brand new baby girl Sophia this morning. Well, David Peralta may not be here, but he's here in spirit. That is his baseball card that the Diamondbacks have taped to the dugout. Our Chaz Roberts, Aaron Plumbing cool play of the game. So he's here in spirit, gentlemen, as he and his wife are recovering from the birth of their baby girl. But you know that, they feel the energy. They all feed off the energy of the freight train, right?
Everybody does around here, Pat. I can tell you that. Our man Mickey down there pointing that out. Nice job, Mick. Here's the right-hander, Joe Musgrove. He spent most of this year in the Astros rotation. He's made 15 starts this season for Houston, but is now working out of the bullpen. He'll face Ketel Marte with J.D. Martinez at second base and 2 outs here in the 6th. Marte has doubled, singled. He's knocked in a run. I can tell you that baseball card is certainly a lot quieter than David Peralta. Probably not much chirping going on down there without the freight train. Ketel Marte hitting an even 300 over his last 18 games. And he's 2 for 2 tonight. He walked twice yesterday against the Cubs. J.D. Martinez at second after his RBI double, 2 outs. This was Ketel Marte in the 2nd inning. One of 5 doubles by the Diamondbacks tonight. Most of them, Bob, as you mentioned, just like this, hustle doubles.
Hustle doubles, a ground ball that gets through into the outfield. The Astros a little slow getting to the ball. Marte never broke stride, ends up at second base.
He's ahead, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, we know the Astros are one of those teams that is highly reliant on sabermetrics. Look at this defensive outfield shift. You got 2 guys basically playing left field and 1 guy patrolling the rest of the outfield by himself.
And that's where Marte hits it, and a nice sliding grab there by Fisher in left field. Derek Fisher has got that one. Ketel Marte bidding for his 3rd base hit tonight, but Fisher takes it away. J.D. Martinez, however, comes up with the RBI double and makes it 2-0 Diamondbacks. Highlights, Zach Greinke has been outstanding. 6 scoreless innings so far. He's given up only 4 hits, walked just 2. He's got 8 strikeouts.
You know, partner, you've heard me mention before, Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach for the New York Yankees, when he was with the Cubs, used to talk about throwing pitches that give the illusion of a strike. To the hitter, he thinks it's going to be in the strike zone. By the time he swings at it, it's out of the strike zone. Zach Greinke has done that extremely well here tonight.
He's at 89 pitches as he leads off the 7th. It's the third baseman, Alex Bregman. Greinke's spot in the batting order is due up second in the home half of this inning, so this figures to be it for Greinke. Right now, 90 pitches, 56 strikes. Bregman hits it to third for Lamb. Sets and throws. Nice scoop by Goldie, 1 out. Astros have not had a base hit since Marwin Gonzalez doubled with 2 outs in the 4th. And here's Gonzalez. Gonzalez is a switch hitter. He's a .335 batter left-handed this year. That's where he's got 16 of his 20 home runs. Dropped the curveball in there for strike 1. A look inside the Sanderson Ford bullpen. That's David Hernandez, the right-hander, and Jorge De La Rosa, the lefty. A couple of new faces back there today. Silvino Bracho and J.J. Hoover, both called up from AAA Reno. Jake Barrett sent down to AAA. David Peralta on paternity leave, the new dad. Greinke ahead of Gonzalez, 0-2. Keep in mind that Zach Greinke is doing this against an Astros team that is a little bit undermanned. They don't have Correa, no McCann or Gaddis, but they still lead the major leagues in runs, hits, home runs, batting average, and OPS. But so far, 6 scoreless innings and only 4 hits. Astros averaging 6.5 runs per game on the road this year. At 39-20, A.J. Hinch's ball club has the best road record in baseball. But the D-backs hold a 2-0 lead. Couple of hard sliders in the dirt that Zach spiked, and it's 2-2. Rockies have already won. They beat Atlanta tonight 3-0. Cardinals and Brewers are both off tonight. Well, the Cubbies are putting a hurting on the Cincinnati Redlegs. It's 15-5 at Wrigley Field. Boy, oh boy. Got him on a curveball. 9 strikeouts for Greinke. 2 down.
An outstanding job of keeping that curveball around the edges of the zone. As I said just a moment ago, the illusion of a strike, too close to take, too good of a pitch to do anything with.
Derek Fisher, the left fielder, who made a terrific sliding catch there to end the bottom of the 6th inning. 0 for 2 so far. Fastball missed, 1-0. Ramon De Jesus didn't like that one. Curveball missed, 2-0. Derek Fisher had a good run in the Arizona Fall League 2 years ago, playing for Glendale. Was named to the Rising Stars game. This is slicing toward the seats and out of play.
Current students and alumni, show your school pride. The D-backs will host ASU night and U of A night during the next Dodger series here at Chase Field. Get a custom ASU or U of A soft style t-shirt with a special event ticket pack. ASU night is August 29th. U of A night is August 30th. Visit dbacks.com/events now for your special event ticket pack.
100th pitch of the ball game from Zach Greinke is a base hit for Fisher. A 2-out single. Just the 5th hit for Houston tonight.
Catcher, Juan Centeno.
That'll bring up the catcher Juan Centeno, who's 0 for 2. Here comes Torey Lovullo, and he's going to make the move. Centeno, a left-hand batter. He's got his lefty Jorge De La Rosa ready, so Greinke's night will end after 100 pitches in 6 2/3 innings. Big hand for Zach. 2-0 D-backs. Leaves the ball game, responsible for Derek Fisher at first base. 2 outs and a 2-0 lead. And answering the Ashline call to the bullpen is the left-hander Jorge De La Rosa, on to face Astros catcher Juan Centeno. De La Rosa came on to get Cubs catcher Victor Caratini in the 8th inning yesterday. Gave up a base hit. Caratini eventually scored. And Jorge, a couple of days before that, worked a scoreless inning against the Cubs. His 51st appearance of the year. Centeno 0 for 2. He has struck out, flied out. Cutter's in there for strike 1. Centeno 7 hits in 22 at bats this season. He has homered twice. This is only his 6th game for the Astros all year. Curveball missed. 1-1.
Pretty good looking pitch right there. De La Rosa took a little bit off that breaking ball. Big sweeper, but it's where it crosses the front of home plate, not where Jeff Mathis catches it. Looked like that one was good.
Ramon De Jesus has called some breaking pitches for strikes up in the zone tonight. He missed that one down. Here's the De La Rosa split finger changeup, and it's 1-2. Jorge threw only 2 pitches in the ball game yesterday. He worked the series opener against the Cubs, threw 14 pitches. That was Friday night. And he struck him out with a cutter. De La Rosa comes in and gets us to the home half of the 7th. It's 2-0 D-backs. Home half of the 7th inning. Diamondbacks lead the Astros 2-0. Fans, NL West rivals, the D-backs and the Dodgers, will meet up another time here at Chase Field at the end of this month, August 29th through the 31st. And you can bring the whole family down to the ballpark and see this matchup against the Dodgers with the D-backs Value Pack. The D-backs Value Pack gives you a game ticket, a Subway sandwich, or a hot dog, and a Pepsi, all for only $25. For tickets, visit dbacks.com/value. Musgrove back out there for the Astros as Jeff Mathis, the catcher, leads off the bottom of the 7th. Pitcher spot is up next for the Diamondbacks, and the Herminator, Chris Herman, is in the on-deck circle. He will hit for Jorge De La Rosa. Mathis has walked and struck out so far, 0 for 1. Get down, ball, get down. Here it is. Jeff Mathis, a leadoff single.
It's kind of fought off a fastball at 97 off that inside corner. Got in on the hands a little bit. Probably a good thing it didn't carry far enough for Reddick to be able to make a play.
And Herman is announced as the hitter. Chris has struck out as a pinch hitter in his last 2 appearances. And a couple of singles in his start behind the plate on Friday against Chicago. And Herman hits one in the air. Right field, Reddick has one. Going down in the 7th. Here's the leadoff man, Gregor Blanco. Blanco leading off and playing left field. David Peralta on paternity leave. He and his wife Jordan had a baby girl, little Sophia. So I guess they had a car onto the freight train there, right? He and his wife Jordan. That one got by Musgrove. Altuve, look at that. Jose Altuve, little shovel pass to Marwin Gonzalez. They get the force on Mathis.
Yeah, nice play by the Astros just to get the lead runner there at second base. Altuve with that glove-to-glove flip. Actually, this time it's glove-to-hand as Marwin Gonzalez came over from his shortstop position. Right there, the glove flip to the bare hand, the jump throw, but not nearly in time to get Blanco at first base. Very creative defense right there.
Here's AJ. Blanco at first, now 2 outs. Pollock 0 for 2. D-backs have out hit Houston 7-5. They lead it 2-0. 5 of the Diamondbacks' 7 hits tonight have been doubles. RBIs for Ketel Marte in the 2nd and J.D. Martinez in the 6th. AJ just doesn't look like he's picking up breaking balls, fastballs. Out in front on a lot of sliders and curveballs lately.
Well, if it was easy, everybody could do it all the time, but it just looks like AJ is not tracking the ball all the way to the hitting zone. He's recognizing the pitch out of the pitcher's hand and swinging it where he thinks it's going to be very early, but as that late movement comes in, especially on that slider low and away, just hasn't been able to see that ball on its way to the hitting zone.
Just able to get a piece of that fastball. That's 1-2.
Phil Musgrove out there, former first-round pick by the Toronto Blue Jays in the draft back in 2011. D-backs ready to bring in the beard. Archie Bradley standing by the Diamondback bullpen. Houston in the 8th inning will have 9, 1 and 2 due up. The pitcher's spot, then Springer and Altuve. Archie Bradley is ready back there. Here's the 1-2 to Pollock. And AJ sends it out to right. Reddick at the wall. And he's got it. Josh Reddick has made 2 outstanding catches out there tonight, both times taking base hits away from the Diamondbacks. It stays 2-0 D-backs. Josh Reddick had a diving catch going in earlier in the game. That one, he extends at the wall. It stays 2-0. Lead the Astros, and when in doubt, what do you do, BB?
Oh, you bring in the beard.
There it is. Yeah, that looks good. Everybody on board here. Archie Bradley on to pitch the 8th inning. This has been Archie's domain all year long. He's been outstanding in this role. Getting the Diamondbacks to their closer, Fernando Rodney, his 45th appearance and a 1.36 ERA. Pitcher's spot will lead it off for the Astros. And on to face Archie Bradley batting for the pitcher. It's the right-hand batting Jake Marisnick. First pitch fastball fouled away. Marisnick slumping right now, only 4 for 28 in August. 242. He's got some power. Those 14 homers a career high. He's a guy that strikes out a whole bunch and always has. Down 0-2. Marisnick coming off a disappointing season last year. He hit .209. And Archie Bradley gets him with some high heat. 1 down.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Up the ladder fastball, that time up above the top of the zone. Gets the swing and a miss from the free swinging Jake Marisnick.
Now 2 tough outs right here in George Springer and Jose Altuve. Springer singled in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Archie firing strikes, 0-1. fights that one off, but it drops in foul ground. But Archie's ahead 0-2. Rockies have already won. They beat the Braves 3-0 at Coors Field tonight. Diamondbacks need a win to stay tied with Colorado for the first wild card spot in the National League. Cardinals and Brewers both off tonight. This is out to right. J.D. Martinez. 2 down.
We anticipated a matchup between a couple of MVP candidates, Jose Altuve in the American League for the Astros and Paul Goldschmidt, of course, for the D-backs in the National League. So far, Goldie's had the better of it. Jose Altuve, who had tremendous numbers against Zach Greinke in his career, he was 9 for 18 coming into play tonight, struck out all 3 at bats against Zach Greinke.
First time this season Altuve has struck out 3 times in a ball game, and Archie starts him off with a knuckle curve. Yeah, Altuve and Goldie tonight have combined to strike out 5 times. Altuve, the major league's leading hitter at .362 coming into the game. Leading all of baseball in hits. And he belts that one just over the head of Ketel Marte at shortstop, a 2-out single.
Right fielder Josh Reddick.
He just fights off an inside fastball that time, kind of adjusted, stepped in the bucket a little bit, pulled his hands in close to his body, got just enough of it to get it over Ketel Marte into left field for his first hit of the game.
Now here's Josh Reddick, who's had a very good night defensively. He's also singled and walked tonight. 1 for 2. Reddick got a fastball away against Zach Greinke his first time up tonight and just knocked it into left field. Altuve will run 26 stolen bases. He's been caught only 5 times. Altuve holds and Reddick fouls off a fastball. Reddick pretty quiet since the All-Star break. 245 in the second half of the year. Here's the 1-1 from Archie Bradley. Just got a piece of the curveball, and it's 1-2.
Pretty big swing by Reddick, but just barely gets a piece of that curveball to stay alive.
Altuve holds. Another curveball that's in the dirt. 2-2. D-backs will have the big boys coming up in the home half of the 8th. Lamb, Goldie, Martinez, 3, 4, and 5. 2 outs, 2-2 on Josh Reddick. Right to Ketel Marte. When in doubt, bring in the beard. Archie Bradley keeps it 2-0.
Guys, now we get to take another look at the offense, maybe some insurance runs this inning. Alongside Brandon Webb as we get ready for the post-game show. D-backs Live presented by CenturyLink. Well, this Astros offense may lead the majors in runs scored, but D-backs pitching has kept them at bay.
Yes.
Zach Greinke in particular has been very sharp tonight, Brandon.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with both pitches. I saw a lot of really good curveballs tonight. McHugh had an excellent one. He got 6 strikeouts. Zach Greinke, probably one of the better ones that he's had all year, too. Racked up 9 strikeouts. Great overall pitching night from both sides.
And Brandon will break down the starters. Bullpen's been good as well. De La Rosa, Bradley. And guys, now we get to take another look at the offense, maybe some insurance runs this inning.
Yeah, that'd be nice, Jody, for sure. We've got the big boys coming up here. Jake Lamb, Paul Goldschmidt, and J.D. Martinez against your new pitcher here for the Astros. It's former Diamondback Tyler Clippard out there. Astros picked up Clippard from the White Sox yesterday, just activated today. And Clippard has been traded now twice in the last month. He went from the Yankees to the White Sox on July 18th. And last night from Chicago to Houston. It must be tough to get traded on a Sunday night. There's good TV shows on Sunday nights. Jake Lamb drives one deep right center. And it one-hops the wall. Second double tonight for Jake Lamb, his 25th of the year.
It's a 91-mile-an-hour fastball right in his happy zone. Drives it to that gap in right center, up and over into the RamTrucks.com pool area. Yeah, he got notified by the general manager of the White Sox that he had been traded while he was watching Game of Thrones.
Oh, no, that's a no-go, BB. Come on.
He doesn't know that Littlefinger is trying to start a feud between the Stark sisters.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, if he missed the episode, he doesn't know whether Cersei is lying to Jaime or not.
The genuine sincerity level here is at an all-time low.
What any of that means, I have no idea, but I'm sure it upset Tyler Clippard.
Your staff, who clearly prepared some material for you, is correct. We don't know if Arya and Sansa are going to be able to get along there since they're both at Winterfell right now.
Yeah.
Here's Goldie, doubled and scored his last time up. Although the scene with Jon Snow and the dragon, Drogon, last night was pretty impressive. You sold that well. I was pretty impressed. Two and 0.
Tyler Clippard, the same Tyler Clippard he was as a member of the Diamondbacks. Fastball, changeup, his best combination. He'll roll that big slow curveball up there from time to time, but he's going to live with the fastball changeup combination.
A.J. Hinch got a new arm for his bullpen here in Tyler Clippard. Clippard had actually started closing games for the White Sox. Since his trade from the Yankees to Chicago, he made 11 appearances with the White Sox. 2 saves and 2 chances. He had pitched well there. 32-year-old, his 11th big league season. Tyler Clippard, the former D-back. Three and 1. Fernando Rodney warming up for the Diamondbacks in their bullpen. J.D. Martinez on deck. Astros in the ninth will have Gurriel, Bregman, and Gonzalez up 4, 5, and 6. There he is with bullpen coach Mike Fetters. 3-1 to Goldie. Loaded that changeup in there. That's always been a money pitch for Tyler Clippard. But was it a strike? Close enough. Close. Borderline pitches. Can't get upset about those. So here it is on 3-2. Doubled up on the changeup. All four. First two have reached in the D-backs eighth. And here comes J.D. Martinez. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. Sleep fast tonight, BB, because we're back here early tomorrow for game 2 of this 4-game home and home. Anthony Banda, the rookie left-hander, gets the start against Brad Peacock, who is 10-1 for the Astros this year. Diamondbacks live pregame show comes your way at high noon, a 12:40 first pitch, and then we're off to Houston for 2 games against these Astros, Wednesday and Thursday. Martinez had an RBI double his last time up. He's 1 for 3. 2 on, nobody out. First pitch changeup is ball 1. Him up behind first. Gurriel backing up on the outfield grass. Infield fly rule is in effect, and that's the first out.
Second baseman, Danny Descalso.
A chance for Descalso. He got the D-backs first base hit tonight, a 2-out double in the second. Scored on a Ketel Marte double. Marte is on deck.
Clippard has added a few new things to his setup out there out of the stretch position. If you watch after he gets his sign, as he comes up into the set position, he turns and almost faces second base and then opens back up to home plate. A lot of moving parts there. Ultimately, he gets to a set position. And then the rest of it looks like what we remember from Tyler Clippard. Fastball, changeup, curveball.
Big lanky guy out there. Lamb at second, Goldie at first, 1 out. D-backs have out hit the Astros 8-6. They lead at 2-0. Popped him up again. Gurriel in foul ground this time. 2 outs. Well, it's up to Ketel Marte to pad this lead for Rodney. Ketel had an RBI double in the second. He singled in the fourth. 2 for 3 tonight. Now with 283 on the year. Springer in center, shaded way over toward left center field. Fisher in left is near the line and kind of shallow.
It's the same positioning the Astros used against Marte back in the 6th inning when he hit the ball right to Fisher out there in left field, almost right where he's standing.
Reddick is almost right in front of the pool in right center field. If Marte hits it in the right field corner, he might be able to run around the bases twice. Change up miss, 2 balls and no strikes. Clippard will change up you to death. One after another. Another 2-1 changeup, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jeff Mathis is on deck. He would be the next hitter if Marte can reach. 2 on and 2 out. Rodney is ready in the bullpen. Centeno wants to talk it over. You got a new catcher who's only caught 6 games all year, and a guy that just got traded to the team last night.
Understandable that they're not on the same page on a certain pitch and a certain count. That's something that usually takes a little while to develop between a pitcher and a catcher, knowing what he likes to go to in certain situations against certain types of hitters.
2-2 to Ketel Marte. Got the splitter and struck out. So the Diamondbacks strand 2. We hit the 9th. They lead it 2-0. And here comes the closer. Get your bow and arrow ready. Gurriel, Bregman, and Gonzalez 4, 5, and 6 in the Houston 9th against Fernando Rodney. Zach Greinke outstanding tonight, 6 2/3 scoreless. He got 9 strikeouts. Diamondbacks have had a whole bunch of doubles. RBIs tonight for Ketel Marte and JD Martinez, and on to close it out with a 2-0 lead, it's Fernando Rodney answering the gas line call to the bullpen. He got his 26th save of the year last week here against the Dodgers. Rodney last worked on Saturday against the Cubs when he came on in the 9th inning just to get some work in. Got the first 2 batters he faced, but wound up giving up 4 consecutive 2-out singles through 26 pitches. Yuli Gurriel, Alex Bregman, and Marwin Gonzalez, 4, 5, and 6 will be the Houston hitters. Rockies have already won. They beat the Braves at Coors Field 3-0. So the Diamondbacks need this one to remain tied with Colorado for the first National League wild card spot. Gurriel singled in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 3 tonight. First pitch changeup missed. It's 1-0. Fastball at the knees, 1-1.
Well, the numbers certainly bode well for the Diamondbacks with Fernando Rodney on the mound. A 2-run lead here in the 9th. When the Astros strike out 10 or more times in a game this season, they are 3-12. I mean, this is a team that has the fewest strikeouts in all of Major League Baseball going into play tonight. So when they punch out in double digits, guys on the mound are doing a good job.
As you mentioned, Bob, very analytically inclined team. Strike zone organization is always a priority for their hitters. They teach it from the lowest levels of the minor leagues up. Fastball's there, and it's 2-2. Yes, he went. Chris Guccione, 1 down.
We saw Tyler Clippard come in throwing those Bugs Bunny changeups, and Fernando Rodney has one of his own. Gurriel could not check at that one. Just faded out of the strike zone at the last instant.
Ramon DeJesus went down to first. Guccione said yes. 1 out. Here's Bregman, the 3rd baseman. Tapper to 3rd for Lamb. 2 outs. Brandon Webb, Jody Jackson standing by. Diamondbacks Live, presented by CenturyLink, is next. Last man standing, the shortstop Marwin Gonzalez, who has doubled and struck out twice. Gonzalez will hit from the left-hand side, where he's a .335 batter this year. 16 of his 20 homers have come from the left side of the plate. First pitch changeup is ball 1. Gonzalez having a career year offensively, 30, 14, and 20 homers. Doubled up on the changeup, a ball and a strike. D-backs have lost 3 straight series, looking for wins here, first of 4 against the first place Astros, the best team in the American League. Gonzalez trying to bunt his way on. Goldie's got it, and Rodney can't get to the bag in time. So the Astros will get the tying run to the plate with 2 outs. As Gonzalez bunts for a base hit.
Trying to get it over in that Bermuda Triangle. It went right to Paul Goldschmidt at first base, but Rodney just a little bit late getting over there as Gonzalez gets to the bag with the head first slide, and then Rodney tumbles over the top.
Got a team meeting out there on the mound now. Give the closer a chance to catch his breath, make sure he's okay.
At the plate, left field.
Here's the left fielder, Derek Fisher. Fisher singled his last time up. Tying run at the plate, 2 outs in the 9th. Fisher playing only his 24th game in the big leagues. Rodney's played a few more than that. Fisher's hit the ball pretty hard 3 times tonight. He flied out to center in the second, lined out to second base in the fourth, and singled in the 7th. Descalso's there, and that's the ball game. The Diamondbacks shut out their opponent for the 6th time this year. Only the 5th time the Astros have been shut out, and the Diamondbacks